Alright, so Sabi, welcome back to the channel. We've got a battle on the Mannerheim map, and it's Fury from Foodie Clan. Now he's in the Tier 9 British heavy tank, the Conqueror. He's got 2 marks of excellence on this gun barrel, and that shows he's been able to do consistent high levels of damage. So let's see if how he performs in this tank. Okay, now a bit about the map. You're probably familiar with this one, it's been in the game for a few years, but heavy tanks normally go down to the line where Fury's going to play. They hold down positions and a couple of different routes, and mediums tend to go to the north area, and lights go to the middle, roughly to spot, and a few TDs, yeah, take positions to take advantage of that. Yeah, that's a quick overview of the map. So he's Hyphen is platooned with Fury. He's in the AE Phase 1, another Tier 9 heavy tank. It's one of those reward tanks you can get for playing Battle Pass using your tokens. Anyway, he's coming to this position here. You can either go up where Hyphen is and got a nice hull down position there, or you can come around this side and take up a position similar to the enemy Conqueror there, to just expose the top part of your turret. The Conqueror turret is pretty strong and has good gun depression, so it's well suited to this sort of terrain. But you've got to pick your spots. So some spots are actually quite steep, so over your native gun depression you have to push out a little bit further. What you see here is just carefully poking out, gets a nice shot into the Scorpion G and bounces the thing coming around, just again showing the strength of the turret in that case. It's got a Type 4 heavy there, and he's still on the spot carefully. He was trying to track there. I'm not sure if Type 4 was moving, so he's either using his repair kit or that didn't go through the actual sprocket because he didn't actually get any damage. But it's a good move to try and track him and keep him in the open. Let Artie have a crack at him, or keep him exposed for your own team to damage them. So it's always a worthwhile activity to try and track the enemy in the middle, and there he's managed to do that. So that Type 4 is now sitting steady, and he can go through the front plate without a problem. They're still bouncing incoming rounds. Almost got as many bounces off as he's managed to do damage. And finally takes a hit from the Type 4. The Type 4 is firing HE, so guaranteed to do damage with HE. You're probably aware there's some HE changes coming up. I won't go into them here, but we'll probably produce a video with the next few days talking about the HE changes. Snapped another shot towards that Type 4, but just gets destroyed a second before by the Conway. He's got this couple of tanks nearby. Snaps a shot towards the enemy Conway. That doesn't seem to go in. It is a fairly accurate gun though. The gun in the Conqueror, the top gun, similar to the Super Conqueror. Slightly different characteristics in the Tier 9 versus the Tier 10, but the same gun. Now he's got a 257 he can punish after having taken out the Conway. Conway poked out a bit just once too many times. You see here he's working this hold down position. He's really, from the enemy position, he's only really exposing the top part of his turret, so really difficult target. And that 257 is out in the open. The 257 manages to pen now. He's a bit closer and got slightly different angles. But 257 is out in the middle, so he's not really going to last long in that position. Fury can certainly out DPM as long as he sort of concentrates and goes for that under plate there below the pike nose. Now it looks like one advantage of this map is there's no SPGs in it. Now that's the first for a while. Doesn't always happen. Does make this spot a little bit better. He's found the CS63 there and managed to go through his top part of his hull, I think. Just as he overpoked there looking for the Progetto. So as you can see, this is a pretty strong position. The enemy's defending really relatively well in the sense that they're holding them up, but it really won't last long. Renegade he's gone into the water, and he can recover from that position, but it's a bit too easy to drown there. There's a T95 in the back there that Fury is concentrating on. It's a bit of a, you see how big the aim circle is, but he does manage to go through the commander's hatch. There's one thing about dispersion, as long as you put the center of the aim circle on what you hit, a good percentage of the shots will actually go through that area. There's a certain percentage that will go to the outside of the circle. It's standard deviation to standard deviations using a bell curve, just in case you're mathematically inclined and you want to know how dispersion actually operates in the game. But it's one of the parts of the game that isn't directly affected by RNG, so it's mainly the damage and penetration side of things. But as long as you concentrate and keep your dispersion, your aim's pointer right on the spot you want to hit, with your cruise skills and game characteristics, you're more likely to go to that spot even at long distance, regardless of sort of how big your dispersion is. So they come in here to work the enemy Conqueror that was holding them up, and a bit of teamwork there from the 3 platoon mates, including Bear, who's just recently joined Fiddy Clan. Welcome, Bear. And they're now pushing really hard, so they've got this game wrapped up really. It comes down to a matter of how much damage you can do. Fury's already up to 5,600 damage. And looking for a little bit more to see if you can close in on 6k or even higher. Got some tanks in the open. Goes through the Leopard PTA, blocks the incoming round. Did he hit or? Oh, I think, okay. He's run out of premium rounds, so Fury's now on his HE rounds. Alright, sorry, wasn't noticing that. But with lightly skinned vehicles like this, light tanks and medium tanks, that's probably not a bad outcome. LTDB hits his tracks from an incoming round. And is making some damage with APCR, but oh, there's a nice 526 damage there. And can he do a ram on a light tank? I don't quite think so, but let's see. Am I getting this round? Nearly. Does a very low roll there. And he's down to 236. He can certainly take one more hit from the LTDB, but the LTDB goes down. There's only 2 tanks left. And that's 7.3k. Can you get any more hits out of this? A bit slow, the Conqueror, and certainly the Super Conqueror is also a bit slow. That does limit its opportunities in clan wars, but still pretty useful in random games. Gets one more hit in, and that is the game. Let's have a look at the results. So another Ace Tanker Mastery badge there for Fury, High Caliber Award for the most damage, Steel Wall, and the Confederate Medal for damaging tanks that then got killed by the team. A lot of minor medals there, and 7.759 damage and blocked 2480. Let's have a look how he performed against the team. So he finished on top there with experience, 1564 base experience, great result there. His platoon collectively did over 12k of damage against the enemy team, so pretty strong contribution there from the platoon. The enemy side, that LTDB at the end, basically ended up with the top experience, but overall looks like the Leopard prototype did the most damage, but obviously, yeah, from a distance and gave up some spotting, it looks like. In any case, the enemy basically really didn't stand out in terms of their performance. Now, does that mean that's a stronger point coming from the south versus the north, or vice versa? I'm not really sure that's true. I think teams can definitely push hard on the coming from the south side, but you do have to be fairly aggressive and get into the right positions. Letting the enemy come right up there, I think, is probably a deciding factor in the game if you've got quite a number of heavy tanks. In any case, detailed report there. 28 shots fired. As you saw, he used up all his premium ammunition. 24 hits pretty good accuracy from the gun there. Most of them were well aimed in. 17 of those hits penetrated. Some of those were the HE shots that exploded on the outside of the tank, so that explains for some of that. Did take some damage, of course, as we saw. In the end, made quite a decent amount of credits there, tier 9, but the ammunition cost him over 100k, so he ended up making a small loss, including his consumables of 13k. But nonetheless, yeah, certainly trade that for the result that he got. So another great game there from Fury. And if you like this presentation, can you give the video a like? And if you haven't subscribed already, would you consider subscribing to the channel? That certainly helps the channel grow, and certainly will provide more content during the week. Anyway, thanks for watching.